Afternoon team, welcome back, welcome to the channel if you're a newbie. Start of the week, end of the day, pretty much, but yeah, there's still a bit to do yet. Bit of a recap on what we've been up to today. I just had plenty on, so I didn't worry about filming, but we've still got a bit to do yet tonight. Beck got this centre axle, so if you're only new to the channel, we had a rigid front axle under our air cart. We're changing it to casters just so we can turn sharper, especially with air irrigation, that sort of thing. Got a couple of hours welding left on doing on these and a bit of grinding, and then we're pretty right. This is the main axle, so we've got that centre bush in. If you've been watching along, we were talking, couldn't decide what to do with this as far as getting grease into that centre bush is what I'm trying to get out. So what I've done is I've just ended up putting a cap there. So I've got caps, sockets on the end here with a grease nipple in there inside. So we'll just screw a bung in there to seal them up, and then when we want to grease them, we can just screw that out so we can grease these end bushes as well. I've got the bushes for the next bit. These will get mounted on the front of the cart in some plate. Front over, we've been driving around school holidays here, so I've had the kids with me today, but we've been driving around doing a few jobs in Sabo, picking up parts and basically a parts run. So we've been to 3 different towns and got home and started cutting the plate to mount those bushes in, and we're out of oxy gas. Anyway, so I'll have to go to town in the morning and grab some of that, but there's plenty of other stuff I can do here. So what I'm going to do with this one, I just sort of thought about it. I'm going to run a grease line. So I've got just a short bit of grease tube and a little grease bulkhead, and what we'll do is we'll run this line out. Effectively run a line out so we can. And I'll just weld a little tag on here with the grease nipple, and then it's easy to grease that centre pin. There's no excuse for it not to get greased. That's that job. So yeah, there is still a bit to do. Josh, the fella that I'm sort of mucking around with this corn job, he's been over this morning. His old man, his dad come over actually. So they've been here mounting these tines up. Again, I was going to get this in and cut some bolts off with the gas, but the bloody gas we're out of gas. So that's all right. So I got some bolts. We're going to cut these off back up here, and then effectively what we've got there. So we're going to cut that off down there just to give us a bit of a leading edge, and then we've got a bit of 2-inch pipe to go on the back here, and we'll drop our fertiliser in for our corn. And yeah, obviously we're on 30-inch spacings. What I was talking to Josh, because I've got jewels on our tractor, and these stick out forward, we'd be hitting the tyre. So what we're thinking, what I'll probably do if I've got time is weld another bar in there, and that'll just get that tine forward. Probably doesn't matter a whole heap, but yeah, we'll just see how it tracks when we get it in the ground. So there's still a bit to do. My priority is this air cart at the moment. Brendan's away, Tony's been here. He sprayed channels over at our dairy block, so we just didn't get to them, so I got him to get onto that. Looking at the probe, they are talking rain this week, middle of the week, and then again at the weekend, so they were talking big rains, but now it's a bit like the pub with free beer. It just the 7-day forecast, it looks good, and then as it gets closer, it disappears. So what I'm going to do tonight, or what I need to do, we've got to shift some stock around. What's happened, or what we think's happened, is we've done a drive belt on the buggy. So I've got to get in there, and it needs a service as well, but my priority is to get that drive belt changed, because we need to shift the U-lambs that are out the front here. They're about eaten out, get them over onto our dairy block. There's still a bit of electric fence to go up over there that Brendan didn't quite get finished. last week, and yeah, we just need to shift shape around, and it's bloody easier to do it if we've got that. So never done it before, so I'll get to here in a minute, and we just brought it, we towed it into the shed here, and where we've got good light and concrete floor, and obviously the workshop's busy doing this other job. So we seem to be we'll have lots of things breakdowns here at the moment, so which is a bit frustrating, but anyway, it's in there. it's in behind there, so we'll get a bit of this stuff pulled off it and just see. I don't know, we'll work it out, but yeah, so no, pretty happy. Tony's been grader boarding this afternoon. The rice ground that we worked up, we had a little bit of a mess up there with the disc, just with it ridging badly, but it is sort of not coming into shape, not too badly. So he'll finish, once he gets it spraying again in the morning with the channels, I'll get him back on that. The pivot here is running on the Lucen, and we do have the hard hosed irrigator going, doing the last run over there. So we put 30 mil on the full circle here. I don't know if you can see that, probably see that going. And there's another, we're just running it background on this half again, and then we'll turn it off. Yeah, so we're just giving it another 30 mil on this side, and the weather lambs will come in on the east side of it. So anywho, that's a quick rundown for the day. Back is feeling a fair bit better. It is slowly coming good, which is really good, because it wasn't a lot of fun there for a bit. So yeah, anyway, we'll get to here, and then yeah, we'll try and we'll probably might have a bit of dinner soon, and then yeah, try and tack this buggy and get it sorted out. Well, we're into it. I've taken all this side cover out. Before we put all that back in, we'll definitely give it a decent wash out. We did give it a bit of a go, but it's, yeah, a bit tricky. There's a fair bit of crap in there anyway. So what have we discovered is, or not discovered, but we've got bits of belt. So it's definitely the issue. It's just getting to it. So it won't actually be too bad. There's a snorkel here. It's actually, it feeds air in to keep it cool. From, I'm not too sure where it comes from, but anyway, so part of the, sort of got an in and an out for the air. Yeah, so that's what these two snorkels are. So we'll get the other one off, and then yeah, undo the bolts around it, and hopefully it just comes off and we can see what we're looking at then. Moment of truth, hopefully. What's that thing? Well, one left. No shortage of bolts. One thing worse than being an auto electrician, having your head stuck up under a dashboard half your working life, would be a small engines mechanic trying to get your fingers in little spots. Shout out to them though. Hopefully. Might have to get rid of this top one, I reckon. It's looking the way it's shaping up. to get that come past there, I think. All right, I'll come back to you. It was a bit of a fight, but we got there, so the belt's stuffed, but the problem we've got is, I don't know if you can see it, and I'll give you a better look when we get it off. It's cracked this aluminium housing. I'd say when the belt's gone, the belt should have been changed before now, probably. Yeah, and that's just, yeah. Anyway, there's 4 10mm bolts. We'll get that, we've got to pull that off anyway to get the belt back on. But yeah, I don't think we'll be going tomorrow, just looking at that somehow. Yeah, I think the belt's bugged. And the problem we got is we've broken a leg off this sort of outer support. I don't think we'll be able to weld that back on there somehow. That'll be cast aluminium and it won't be square and true and all the rest of it anyway. I shudder to think what that is worth. Anyway, and getting one might be the next issue. So I'll get on to Yamaha dealers in the morning and yeah, just have a suss out, but we might be chasing sheep really fastly in the morning, which won't hurt either. Anyway, yeah, bit of a bugger. Probably moved well, partly my fault. Should have been serviced before now and the belt wouldn't have got to that point of disrepair. But yeah, anyway, these things happen unfortunately. They tend to get treated a bit like lawnmowers, these things. They just get driven and driven and driven. Yeah, we know for future reference it's done. I don't know what it's done. 8,000 k's has been really good, this thing. We haven't had any trouble with it. And yeah, it just probably needs to be serviced a bit more regularly than what it is. It is overdue for a service. Anyway, I've got a belt there. I might just grab the little compressor and give that a blowout and bang the belt back on, the new belt on it. And then that'll nearly do for the day, because it's about knock-off time. New belt. I wonder how much of a cluster this is going to be to put on. It does actually give me direction. I wonder which direction it goes. Yeah, good question. I'll just work that out and come back to you. Alright, arrows to the back. Pointing backwards. Pointing backwards. Where are our arrows? There. Pointing backwards. I'll clip you legends on the end here. I'll get that out of the road. Alright. Hopefully, being a very speed pulley, there won't be too much of a cluster to get on. Jesus. Wonder. It almost doesn't look big enough. What are the chances? What are the chances that no, we can't be that lucky. I thought there might have been a number still left on what was left there. I don't think that's going to go on there. To my way of thinking, I might be wrong. Looks like the same sort of belt. It's come off, but it doesn't look like it's going to go on there, does it? Sometimes, well, not so much on, I don't know about these things, but sometimes you'll get a vary drive, so the pulleys will actually, well, you used to have them on the headers, the pulley would open and close. You know, to increase speed, you'd wind the pulley closed. But here, I don't know. We might have to do some homework, I think. Might even have to go to YouTube. Yeah, not sure. We'll have to make a phone call. We'll speak to guys in town in the morning, perhaps, and just find out what the go is. I've got to get a new one of them anyway, so it's no big deal. Yeah. Anyway. we might continue this tomorrow, I reckon, because I've abetted enough today. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.